I'm getting tired of myself here. This is the fifth, I think, or sixth recording I've tried to do. I'm trying to keep things quite succinct, you know, but I go on for too long. Anyway, what we're looking at here is Permaledger, which is based on FarmOS, which is an open source project out there, which I encourage anybody to take a look at. What I'm going to focus on today is just the seeds aspect of Permaledger. It's what we use it for mainly: seeds, spores, cuttings and graftings, and getting those into soil and watching them grow. That's really our main usage. This is the dashboard we're looking at here, and you can see there's a series of tasks. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So this is the 10 latest tasks that are due in the near future. This is set up by adding a seeding and giving it a date and time. But let's get into what I wanted to do, because I'm trying to keep this short. So what we're going to look at here is something called plantings. So plantings in FarmOS and Permaledger are anything that can be put into the ground or into water in some cases and have the capability to grow. So we have in our database here, we have, just scroll to the bottom, 2,000, this number here, 2,740 different entries. And that is everything we've ever handled over the past 5 or 6 years. Okay, so that's what this number signifies here. Going back again, 2,740. Going to concentrate today on seeds, and I'm going to search for a particular seed. So what I did there, I clicked on the filter. That gave me a drop down. I can filter by any of these things here, but I'm going to filter by name for a fava bean that we've grown quite a lot here in the South Willamette Valley in Eugene, Oregon. Well, in and around the Eugene area. These are all the fava beans that we have entries for. There's quite a number of them, but we're going to concentrate on this one, which is an Italian heirloom. Beautiful bean. When it's dried, it's a really deep, dark purple colour. First thing I want to point out here is this QR code. Every entry in the system here that's active. By active it means that we've got things that we can share and things that we can plant. Everyone has a QR code, so you could scan this QR code on a label or a packet and it'll bring you to this entry here. Now I will say one other thing. Permaledger is an intranet application, so it's what we use internally. So it's not if you went to permaledger.com, for instance, this here, you're going to get a login screen, because it's not a public website. It's what we use as an intranet to track everything we've done over the last 6 or 7 years. So let's get into a bit more detail. So within plantings there are different subsections. Seedings are anything where we've taken a seed or a spore or a graft or a cutting and we put it into soil. Now there are two classifications of that too. Sometimes we put them into soil in a greenhouse in order to grow them out, to germinate them and then transplant them. Other times we direct seed. In our case here with fava beans, it's more of a direct seeding. I will say another thing too. You can plant fava beans in South Willamette Valley twice a year basically. You can plant them in the fall and you can plant them in spring. What we found is that the yields in the fall planting are much better over winter, and it's great that it grows over winter, benefiting the soils. So we prefer to plant them in the fall, but we do plant them in spring also. Then that way we get more yield over the 12 months of the year. So seedings are where we put beans into the soil. In this case beans, it could be any seed. And then we track when we planted them into the soils, any activities that were carried out relating to them. Not much in the case of this one. This bean grows tremendously well here. Fava beans beans generally in this part of the world. Observations are where we've seen things like, hang on a minute, I planted 200 bean seeds here and there's only 5 that made it. You know, observations like that, or at the other end of things, oh look, we planted these seeds and they're popping up already, like this one. Harvest, lovely time, obviously. This is when we're harvesting the bean. We tend to grow, just as a conversation point, this bean, we grow it more for dried beans and fresh beans. I mean, fava beans are beautiful fresh. You know, they're also known as broad beans in England, where I came from. But we tend to grow them, we prefer to grow them to dried beans simply because they're then both a source of food and obviously a seed that can be replanted. So this is harvest. Sales, I touched on this. I can't remember if I've touched on it in here, but we don't sell anything per se. We're not a seed supplier in the normal sense of the word. But if somebody reaches out to us and says, "I'd like some of those beans," we'll definitely, if we've got them, we'll definitely donate them. But we sometimes have to get the shipping cost. Well, we always have to get the shipping costs back, otherwise we'd eventually run out of funds to buy new seeds. Okay, I hope that's it. You know, I'm trying to keep this short. I hope that's you know, a good introduction to how we're tracking seeds and plantings and harvests in Permaledger. And at that point, I'm gonna stop the video. Anybody got any questions or comments, please reach out. And I hope this is informative enough to give us a good grounding into what we're doing and how we're doing it. Oh, and most of the entry and management of the entries in Permaledger have been done by me. You mentioned it's an intranet, so it's not something that's generally available to everybody, but we do have people who are interested and we'll give them a login as and when necessary. So please reach out if you have an interest in this, and thank you for watching.